So that works. And one of the things I do enjoy, like even with I think it was in your recent reading in public, how you're talking about that the phrase like that didn't work for me, right? Like, or
Hmm.
this that book just didn't work for me. And when we talk about book criticism and figuring out how to bring the best stories and push back on stories, even like when we talk about in films, we're much more like, oh, this I didn't like this part, that part. But with reading, it's a lot more nuanced. Like, how do you kind of think about reading in public in those conversations?
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's so interesting. I'm still thinking through, and that's part of what I also like about my reading in public series is I'm trying to push myself to think more deeply about criticism and how I want to talk about books and how I want to write about books. Because I was really trained in the literary analysis model of the English classroom, where it does not matter if you liked the book or not. Like you are
Exactly.
writing an essay about this book, you're analyzing it, you are doing literary criticism, but without the part of saying, I liked it or I didn't, and here's why. And it actually has taken me a long time to shake that part. I mean, I like to bring that English major literary analysis to some of my reviews, but it's taken me a long time to be comfortable saying, like, I didn't like it because I think I can appreciate most of the books that I read, even if I didn't like them. But
Yeah.
I've learned how helpful it is for readers to hear, like, yeah, I appreciated this book for all of these reasons, but I didn't like it. And here's why. And I think that's why, for me, the phrase, it didn't work for me, doesn't work for me as a reviewer.
Yeah.
Because like, when I think of a book as working, I think of it as achieving its aims.
Yes.
And then whether I like it or not is something different. Now, that's not how everybody thinks of the phrase. And I'm not trying to use my newsletter to like ban terminology
Oh
on
yeah. Of
Instagram,
course
right?
not.
You know that. But I think words matter. And I think that like thinking through what we really mean when we say something, and if we're trying to like be euphemistic or like dodge saying certain things is interesting to think about, regardless of how we end up, using those words.
If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you head over to www.bookupapp.com to download our app so you can connect with your favorite bookish content creators, start conversations, and start your own book club.